Good morning and welcome to the Big Bear Yarns podcast. I'm Anna, the dyer behind Big Bear Yarns, and this is my podcast where I'll talk about anything I've been knitting or crocheting, what's coming to the shop, you know, the regular sort of podcast. I am the dyer behind Big Bear Yarns. I might have already said that, but I can't start again because I have to, me and my sister are going out after I finish this, so I've got to get through it in one go. I'm the dyer behind Big Bear Yarns. I live in Essex in the UK with my two dogs, my cat and my sister. This is episode number 8. I'm just gonna crack on. I have no finished items this week, but I've made some progress on some of the things I've been working on. So let me show you. Start with the socks because they're the most plentiful. See, I've done the thing again where I've put my camera at this end, whereas usually I'd put it at this end, so I keep getting very confused, so you'll have to forgive me. Here we go. This is sock number 1. This is really blown out. The light's very odd today, but you've seen it before. Yeah, no, that's not an accurate colour. Let me just... I'm just straight out the shower and that, so oh well, that doesn't matter. No one's here for what you look like. It's the knitting. So I finished sock number 1. I don't know if I'd finished, I think I might have finished, I think I've already shown you sock number 1. So sock number 2, done the calf, I've done the foot, and I've done the first row of the slip stitch heel. These are on my Knit Pro Symphony needles, DPNs. I knit on 5. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that before. I use all 5 of the needles for my socks. 2.5mm wooden needles. I do 64 stitches, 20 rounds for the calf. This one, the leg is what, 10, 20, 30, 40 rounds. This is in the yarn Mango Loco by Malton Yarns, a hand dyer. So these probably will be finished for next week. I put the other ball of yarn, the rest of this, it was about 15 grams into my scraps. So that's one. Might put those on the floor because I will step on those needles. So here we have another pair of socks. We've done sock number 1, and on sock number 2 we are onto the first row of the heel again. This is the Yarnsmiths Merino DK. Let me try and do something about this lighting, that's a bit better. This is the Yarnsmiths Merino DK. Merino DK. Oh. Merino sock. This is a 4-ply yarn, shade 2K085. The colour name I think is Burgundy, which is pretty accurate. So, sock number 2 for those. Oh yeah, then we've got almost finished sock number 1. For the rose tea socks. I love rose tea. Rose tea is one of my shop staples. It's pretty much always in stock on a couple of bases. It is probably one of the first yarns that became a permanent shop colour. It's just, now to me it's just one of the prettiest. It knits up as well really nicely. I've seen it, there are on my Etsy shop there are several reviews now with photographs using it in different things, so you can get a bit better idea how it will knit up in various things, because obviously not everyone will knit a sock, and we all knit socks differently, so the distribution will be different. But yeah, that's with Pink Skies and Aphrodite's Blush, which are only available currently in minis in my shop. However, I am open to custom orders, so custom orders on existing colours. I don't dye custom colours based on have to be existing colours, because colours are so, what one person thinks of as a bright colour, someone else doesn't. It's too difficult, so you get what I mean probably. Yeah, so we've just got to do the toe on this one, then we're on to the next one. Yeah, we've got, obviously you've already seen Country Garden. Sock number 1, sock number 2 is almost done. It will be done very soon because we are on the toe, so this will be a finished sock for next week. This is my own yarn, Country Garden. I will link it down below. Again, this all my socks will be 2.5mm DPNs, 64 stitches, unless I state otherwise, because if they're for me, my sister or my mum, I'll be doing 64 stitches. That's Country Garden. And I have another one of my very fancy project bags, which is just, this was from, this is an old Origins skincare bag, like, what do you call it? Shower bag? It's like a, I've got this as a Christmas one year for my sister when she worked at Debenhams, and she'd get really good deals, and this was one of the, came with a big skincare set. Here we have, this is the first sock. We're almost done with this sock. I've done, what, 10, 20, 30, 40, so I've done 40, just over 40 rounds of this. These are for me, so I'll be doing 70, so I've only got just under 30 rounds to go, so I'll probably have those done this evening. This is in Cascade Heritage. Cascade Heritage prints. Showing. It doesn't actually say the colour names. Oh, hair is just not its best today. Something about it. Yeah, colour number 128, 128. There we go. I really like how this colour's knitting up though. It's really pretty. I was thinking about giving these to my mum because my mum loves blue and green together, but I want them for myself. I'm actually running a bit low. I'm not, I counted how many like skeins of sock yarn I have in my stash, and it's a lot. It's well over, I feel like I shouldn't say, it's over 50 skeins just in sock yarn, and it did increase this last week. My dad's old shower bag. And this has, as you already know, sock number 1. These ones done. Sock number 2 is past the gusset decreases. And I was just being an idiot last week. I was going on about, oh, I won't be able to get them to match up, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no, obviously, there are 2 colours only in this yarn. There is the grey and then there is the blue. It is a very basic repeat, so yes, this one happened to finish just on the blue, But there's no real issue because as soon as the blue is finished, I'll be in grey. The grey is a very long repeat, so there will be no tiny stripe of anything, so there's no reason to be so bothered about it. Yes, they're not going to be twins, the socks, but really, who cares? Like, the difference is minimal. There's no problem. I'll just have a slightly, this bit was going to be slightly shorter on this sock. I might have a little bit more grey in the toe. It's not going to make any difference. Oh, the light's just really changed. I don't know if it's, it is what it is today. Yeah, so I don't know what I was going on about with trying to match them up, having to cut yarn, blah, 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 blah. Nonsense. That's what I was going on about. Nonsense. These are Knit Pro Zing. Metal needles are my favourite ones I've used so far on the longer needles. I haven't been having any, touch wood, nerve pain, nerve things down my arm or hand recently, so that's good. Even though I've been doing a lot of knitting. Oh, I didn't say, did I, again? This is the King Cole Norse in the shade King Cole Norse 4-ply in the shade Vali, which is 5405. I will link it, put a link in to all of these yarns down below. And actually very good about that. My last few episodes. I don't know. What is that? I mean, that's a plant pot. I thought, what is happening there? It's just a plant pot. So those, and then the final pair of socks. Hold on, Dito is scratching. Dito baby, hey, you're a good girl. You're a good girl. Lay down. Come on, lay down. Good girl. Oh yeah, these are the sea glass socks. They're so pretty. I've never done until this, these are the first colours I've dyed where in a sock set both of the colours are heavily variegated. I would usually do one or the other. I would have the main skein be like a semi-solid or a solid, and then the mini be variegated, or the other way around. But I actually really like the busyness of them. I mean, it's socks, so it doesn't hugely matter anyway, like, but I say that, but I do get really upset if my yarn pulls in a way I don't like. So I don't really mean that. I've done the gusset decreases, and it's just the foot and the toe to go on this one. Yeah, here I was when I was dyeing it up as well. After I dyed them, I looked at them when they were dry thinking, oh, they just look so similar. No, they really don't. You can completely tell that they are different. But that is also the difference between looking at a yarn in the skein and then knitting it up. They are different, and they sometimes surprise you. The more you knit with like hand dyed yarns and things, the better you will be anyway about reading a skein. So I've got this little nugget left to hopefully be able to do the whole toe. I'm going to weigh it. I probably need about, from my experience, about just over 3 grams. I would be completely sure I can do the toe, but I could get by with just over 2 grams of yarn for the toe. The cuff and the heel use more, so if I have to go back to the other one, it's fine, but it should be okay. These are for my mum. Just pop all these back into the basket for now, so we're not getting too much of a mess over here. Is that behind me? Oh, I think. Oh, they're gonna fall. They're gonna fall. No, they didn't fall in the end. That was good. Okay. So oh no, I've got one more item I've actually been working on. No. I have 3 more items and 1 pair of socks. Really not much has happened with them though. These are in another, oh god, that's the whole load of Odin's fluff. There you go. This is the weather's been so changeable. Oh, more weird. No, it still looks super cut. We're just going to have to roll with it. I can't do anything about the sunlight. Yeah, we've had such changeable weather here that Odin, he's an American Akita crossed Alaskan Malamute, so he's a big fluff. But he's a big fluff that blows his coat like a buffalo. Technically it should be in the spring. However, we live in the UK where the seasons go back and forth, so so we warmed up a little bit early in the year and he blew his winter coat, but then it cooled down again, so he grew, like, not a full winter coat, but he grew another like half coat again. Then last week we were up to like 23, 24, 25 degrees and he started blowing his coat again, but now we've dropped back down, so he's probably going to start growing more of a fluffy coat again. So what's the joke they say about like the snow breeds? It's like, yeah, they shed once a year for 365 days, and that's not technically true. He doesn't blow his coat during the winter. How did I even get on? I don't know. I found fluff. That was it. There was a reason. So, Paintbox Yarns in the solid colours. They don't have currently any solids. They're not even listed as sold out, so I don't know if they're not going to be doing any more solids, or if maybe they're bringing in a whole load of new solid colours, and I don't know. So I've done the cuff, and now I'm thinking, I don't know if I want to just actually do a whole pair of socks just in the one solid, because while on one hand, yes, just a plain old sock in one colour that's not variegated or speckled or something is a little bit boring. Sometimes boring is quite nice, so I don't know, because I've got this one, but I was also thinking I have a few more of these colours, these King Cole Norse colours, and I was thinking I've got a few like scraps from the other pair. I've got a scrap from the other pair, and I'll have some left over from the Vali socks that I'm knitting. So I'm wondering if I want to actually keep all of these and do a pair of like scrappy socks in this striping. I'm not sure. I suppose we'll find out next week what I decide. But yeah, this is Paintbox Yarns, which is available on Lovecrafts. I'll put a link to Lovecrafts, their Paintbox sock yarns, but it's only the self-patterning socks they've got at the moment. So the other thing I've been working on, let's not drop everything, is my sweater, like spring, autumn crochet sweater, and I am almost done with this. I'll maybe just take a drink because my throat's getting so dry. Just take a sip. I've got some. This is a peach, passion fruit and mango squash. It's very nice. So here we go. I've done, as I had last week, I'd seamed it together, I think, and I started on the arm. So I've done the, maybe stand up a bit so you can see. We'll go back, there we go. We've got the, so many ends. God, we're blowing out really badly. I'm a ghost. No. Might have to do, there we go, maybe tap here. Might be, there we go. I'm not a ghost anymore, I'm a real girl. So we've done, oh no, I'm like a yellowy coloured ghost now. I don't know. Anyway, let's just get on. So I've done the full body, I've done both arms, one arm, first arm's complete. I've done the cuff. I did actually make a difference to my pattern. So if you've bought the pattern at all, in the pattern it tells you to go down to a 4mm hook, whereas I like having a really close cuff because it doesn't move around, and cuffs that move around and like go up your arm too much really do bother me. sensory thing. I just can't deal with it. However, I wanted it to be slightly bigger, so I've used, I've gone down where it says in the pattern to go from a 5.5mm hook to a 4mm. I've just gone to a 4.5 hook, and that's created this cuff. And then on the other side, I've done the arm, and I've done like a round or two of the cuff. Oh gosh, I'm gonna be unraveling. Let's pull this through. Yeah, so made big progress on that. So this will be done for next week. I've just got to do the cuff. I've got to do the neck, do the ribbon on the neck, and do the ribbon on the bottom. I'm going to try this on and see how I feel about it. But I'm thinking I'm going to also do maybe the ribbon twice as long on the bottom, but we'll see when we get there. So this is in Drops Cotton Merino. This is the shade color 08, and it's navy. I think that's just what it's called. Oh, this cake. I caked this up, and look at it. It caked up so badly, and I had thought, oh, I should just recake it. Well, I finished doing the cake because it's so dodgy, and then I'll recake it, and I just didn't. I just didn't do it. Yarn everywhere. Let me come forward a little bit because I went far back then. Okay, that's a bit better. Yeah, so that's the other thing I've been working on. That will be finished for next week. If it's finished in between, I'll probably record a short and pop it up in the meantime. Just pop that over there. I'll grab my last project. My lipstick tumbling. I don't know if you heard that. And in my very fancy little laundry bag, I have my granny square blanket. And I've tried to keep track this time of which way we are going, because last week I could not remember. I've actually made quite a bit of progress. I say quite a bit, but it is 4-ply yarn. Oh, my hair. It's actually drying quite quickly. Oh. Oh yeah, I've made quite a bit of progress on this, and I kept track of what colour I was on when we started. So here is the stitch marker from last week, and we were going this way with the green, so we did. This is lovely green, actually. I really like this green. I can't remember, this was from one of my Christmas mini skein sets, and I can't remember if I wrote down exactly the greens I used to create it, but it is such a pretty green. I'm gonna have to try and replicate it for something because it's just lovely. Yeah, so green we did all the way along here. Green, 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 green. Then we went up and we turned, because I turn with my granny squares. You don't have to, but the bigger, like if you're doing a small granny square, like little ones for patches, you don't really have to bother turning them after each round, because they're never going to get so big like that the sort of twist begins, where they sort of like go a bit lopsided. You won't get to a point really where that's going to be an issue. I wouldn't bother so much. However, when you're doing a big blanket like this one, you are better to be turning it each round so that you don't get such like go off quite askew. I mean, you can prevent that happening by being very careful with your gauge, making sure you're always doing exactly like the same. But most of us, well, me, when I'm doing it, I'm just sitting in bed with my headphones in, listening to an audiobook, chilling out. I'm not bothered so much about my tension and things. So chain 3, I turn it, then chain 3, and then back along. Then we got to This is the yarn from my mum's Stylecraft Walking in Nature socks. I think they were skip. So I had 3 balls of this yarn. So we went back along. I had 3 different scraps from that, from matching up the colour repeats. And then, so I think I did about almost 2 rounds. Sometimes it feels like there are more than 4 sides to this blanket, because I just feel like we must have gone through 4 sides by now. And there we go. Back onto the last of that ball. We've got, I really am running low on scraps though, so I don't think we're gonna, I think once I've done, we've got this ball left, and then I've got this purple left, purpley red. Looks more red on the screen, but it's more purple in real life. Really nice colour. I think that would make also a nice jumper. And this would make a really nice jumper. And then I've got this tiny luminous yellow scrap, which was from my Christmas tree mini sock set, which was a 50-gram green mane and then little minis. Yeah, so I'm almost out of minis. I probably will have finished those scraps. They're not minis, they're scraps. Got a hair going in my eyeball. There we go. So after next week, but I don't think any of the socks I'm working on are going to give me tiny bits to go in my blanket. They're all either, I was working from 100-gram skein or the 20 grams, but even the 20 grams for like the rose tea socks, they're not going to be under 10 grams because they're 20 grams. I'm only doing, what, 20 rounds, give or take, on each sock out of that, so I don't think that's going to be enough to go in my blanket. So that's everything I have been working on. I'm going to be working on some more crochet dishcloths. So we're looking through my cotton stash because I really need to reorganise this bit. I will be reorganising soon, probably. So I've got these 2. They are Lily, Sugar and Cream in the colour, does it have a colour name? Jewels, I think. It's a self-patterning one, but I don't really care about the pattern because they're just washcloths, so it really doesn't matter what they, it doesn't really matter what they look like, to be honest. They're just to wash and dry my face. So I've got these 2 which I'll be looking at working up because I want to get rid of, I always get things like this as well, thinking, oh, I'm going to crochet myself some cute bags. I have crocheted some bags, but I never use them. I don't know, either I'm going out somewhere, so I want like a handbag. I very rarely do that, I normally just have my little rucksack. Because I want to bring my knitting with me, and I can't fit my knitting into my little handbag, so it will be my rucksack. I normally just bring my rucksack. If I'm going for a dog walk, I need to bring water for the dogs, rucksack. If I'm going out for the dinner, I want to bring my knitting with me, my rucksack. I don't care what I'm wearing, bring my rucksack. What was I? Oh yeah, I get things like the cotton, thinking, oh, make some cute cotton bags. No, they're just going to go into washcloths. And also, I've made I've got like in here, oh, here as well. let me reach. Yeah. There's this craft cotton, which is just 100% cotton. It's quite a thin one. It's nowhere near as thick as this one. I would make in my shop where I first started. My Etsy shop originally was selling finished products, so I would knit dog jumpers, custom sized dog jumpers. I would knit dishcloths. I sold quite a few of the dishcloths. I sold loads of the dog jumpers. So I had this left from doing that, and I did sell some when I did markets and things. I did sell a few of them because yes, they're slightly expensive because they take so long to knit, so you have to, but they do last for years and years. Like, you can just stick them in your washing machine and I know I'm selling them to you. I don't sell them, so there's no need to do the whole spiel. Let's just move on. Yeah, so I've got quite a bit of this left, but I don't really use dishcloths so much anymore, but they are really good actually for cleaning things like your mirrors. You have to wash them a few times first because you will get the cotton fibres coming off like the first few times, but once they've, like, all those fibres have really been washed away, they're really good for cleaning mirrors. So I might be doing something like that, but also they are just white, so I could do some like homeware. And talking about that, I've got this big old cone in the green, and I've got this, let me show you, this white cotton as well, which is this cotton, wasn't a big cone as well, in white. So I'm thinking I might do some like granny square placemats for my table, because I think that would look quite nice. Do some white ones and some green ones. This was I made it into these big round placemats and I didn't like them, so then I thought I'll make it into, what is this? Is this a bag? I started and then didn't finish. Yeah. Then I thought I'll make it into a bag, and it's not gonna happen. I'm gonna unravel this, and I'm gonna make some granny square placemats, I think, with this. So I'll get cracking with that. And I've got a bit more cotton for my washcloths. So I've got this colour, it's in the packet. This is in Green Twists, the sugar and cream. So I'll make another one of that. I've got this left over from the previous one. So I think what I'll also do is, once I've worked through all the full balls, I will make some put together ones, scrappy ones, with whatever I've got left. And then I've got this, which is the Yarn and Colours Epic, which I get from Lovecrafts. And I've got this grey, which isn't really going to be useful for the other thing I'm going to be making with this, because I've got quite a few, I've got some greens and browns. That brings me on to the other thing I'll be making some more of for, it's probably a bit early in the year for everyone else, but I mean, I love Christmas. I look forward to Christmas all year round. So I'm making some more of these little Christmas trees, just a self-drafted pattern, using the Yarn and Colours Epic, which is an Aran weight cotton yarn. So you just knit up the little Christmas tree, leave a hole in the bottom. This is stuffed with all my ends. I have a big, huge jar. Like, it's not a jar even, it's a, I think it's like a candle holder. It's like a big candle holder. It's full of all my ends that I've just kept throughout. It's even less than a year. So I'm going to make up a whole load of these. I've got this type, and I've also got this type, which is, I think, I don't know which one I prefer. There's like the stocking stitch version, and then there's the garter. I don't know, which one do you prefer? Not colour wise, but pattern wise. But I'll make a whole load of them because I've got a drawer, my big cabinet over there, my big chest of drawers. One of the drawers is getting quite full now of corks, wine bottle corks, gin bottle corks, any corks I have in there. And I'm just gonna make a whole load. I've got this glass fronted cabinet in the front room, and I think that this Christmas what I'm gonna do is clear it out of a lot of the things that are in there and make some shelves with just loads of Christmas trees standing up, and get some battery powered lights, so it's like a little enchanted forest of Christmas trees, and that will use up all the ends. So I've only got 3 of them made so far, but that will definitely be on the list. And I was also thinking, because I've got so many scraps, I made these little Christmas ornament stockings. They are like, they have a hole, they're actual little socks. I thought I might make a whole load of these and make a little advent calendar for me and my sister to put, like, get a box of mixed chocolates or something and fill them up and do that. Pop maybe into one of the works or something and get little numbers and fill those up. I've got some crochet ones, but I'm not as much of a fan of the crochet ones. They're not as cute. So I've got this and this. I've only got 2 of them. This one turned out better than this one because this was like some old yarn that came from a charity shop that my dad had bought me, and they were in socks, and I sort of frogged them, and you can kind of tell the difference in the neatness. But it's got like a proper heel flap and everything. It's got a heel flap and a gusset and a heel turn. So I'm going to make a whole load more of those and that gets me to the next point, which is I've separated my scrap yarns into 2. These are all the under 50s, but I've separated out all the ones that are in balls, because if they're in a ball, if they're in a ball, they are older. So because all of my newer ones are caked. I cake all my yarn now. So if it's caked, it's much newer. I don't want it to sit around too long and, you know, deteriorate in the sun. Moths, there's always the risk of moths. Be vigilant. So we've got this box full of yarns. It's so full of scraps. So next month I think will be a scrappy month where I will make up some more scrappy socks using the balled yarns. And then whatever's left from that, I might take a bit of each one. I'll weigh these. I haven't weighed them. I think they're probably about like 3 or 4 grams. And knit a little sock in each colour. So I get, if I have enough of them as well, I'll probably make my mum a whole calendar. I would make my younger sister a calendar, but I'm not sure she'd want it because she doesn't tend to hold on to things, and she made herself this last year a beautiful front door wreath, and then she just gave it away after Christmas. I was like, I would be keeping it. It's so beautiful, but no. So I don't want to give her something that she'll just, you know, get rid of eventually. But maybe she would hold on to it. What were the other things? Oh yeah, so I've been looking through because I need to do a bit of reorganise of my my yarn cubbies over there, and I haven't done any work on my A Court of Thorns and Roses jumper, but these are the next 2 yarns I'll have to cake up to go in there. This is Elaine, and this is High Lord of the Night Court. And all the other colours, I knit a pair of socks and then put what was left. But I'm thinking with these 2, I've got so many yarns, I might actually just cake these up and just use them straight into there. I don't need to make a pair of socks with them, I think. yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to, because I've got so many socks already on my needle. I've got so much yarn to knit through. I don't need to do a sample of these because the club has ended anyway. I do like Elaine though. It's a very spring summer colour, isn't it? Yeah. So my point was, I've got all these scraps left over from my 2 yarn clubs. Scraps. They're not scraps. They're minis. A mini isn't a scrap. Oh. Honestly, eventually I will start saying the right thing, but I don't think it's going to be today. Oh, there we go. Got them all. See, loads of minis. So these are all the minis from my club actually. I don't know all the minis. I think there's actually a few more in my minis cubby, which I'll go through. So I was thinking I might do like a granny square patch blanket where I'll just crochet or maybe I'll knit one, do just a garter stitch. It's either going to be a granny square blanket with just traditional, no, if it's a granny square blanket I will do a mix of traditional granny square and then I'll do a solid granny square with one colour, so it would be the club colour, then a solid colour I picked for the whole blanket and the border, and then one of them will be a solid and this will be the granny square. Or I'm going to cast on and knit garter square in this and do the same thing with alternating the solid colour, because they're all so pretty and I don't want them to just sit there for another year or so. There's like Zayden from Fourth Wing, there's the Weaver's Cottage from A Court of Thorns and Roses, we've got Spring Court from A Court, let's see if we can get that to show. Spring Court from A Court of Thorns and Roses, we've got It's Been My Honour from Fourth Wing. Won't say what that is based on because I don't want to do a spoiler, but if you know, you know. It's Been My Honour. Then we have, this is the High Lord of the Night Court mini, A Court of Thorns and Roses. This is Sigale, Fourth Wing. Then there is 10 from Fourth Wing. Then Feyre, A Court of Thorns and Roses. Starfall, The Cereal. Dropping them. Autumn Court from A Court of Thorns and Roses. We've got Parapet. It's actually one of my favourite ones. It's one of the first ones I did from the Fourth Wing. Really pretty. It knits up as well in the socks. Very pretty. Elaine. Then we've got Nesta. And we've got Amran. There are more from A Court of Thorns and Roses than Fourth Wing because Fourth Wing was a 6-month club and A Court of Thorns and Roses was a year. So yeah, I think I might cake these up this week and start a blanket of some kind. Write in the comments down below if you would prefer to see a knit one or a crochet one, and it might change my mind, but it very well might not. We'll see. So as I haven't got any new yarn to show you that's coming to the shop this week, I thought I'd show you some golden oldies. These ones have been in the shop for quite a while and they are repeatable colours. So I will show you first of all, here we have Hecate's Hearth, which is blowing out. That is not what she looks like. Here we go, that's better. This is a real this is a solid. It really is. It doesn't look as solid on the camera for some reason. It's kind of blown out. It's picking out every slightly lighter tone, but it's a solid. I've knit up as well Hecate's Hearth and she is a solid. based on the goddess from Greek mythology, Hecate, and she's a purpley red. She's in the red family, but she is purple. She's towards the purple side of red. That's available in my shop in both minis and 100-gram sock skeins. Then there is also Late to the Party, which is Casey Musgrave's song, and this is the colours I see when I listen to that song. You've got the pops of aqua, then you've got dark, moody sort of lichen green, the sort of green of moss growing on a tree in a forest. Then you've got the like a really dark, antique-y kind of mauve, which kind of bleeds out to a slightly browny. It's not brown, it is the antique mauve, but it does come across a bit brown when it bleeds through. Late to the Party is available in my shop. And then one of the older colours, which is one of my best sellers, is Pumpkin Spice, which I have available on a couple of bases, which is my sock. This is my this is my standard sort of sock base, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. This is a 100-gram skein, which is 400 meters. This is orange and yellows and brown speckles, and it is one of the best sellers in my shop. And this is it on the DK, because it always dyes up slightly differently on the different bases, but as you can see, they are pretty much the same colour. It's only when you come right up to them you'll see the difference, where the dye just hits, like the speckles especially, always look so much bigger on the DK, I suppose because the strands are wider, so you get more of them, whereas on this it just looks a lot smaller. So there's some colours that are in the shop. If you want to take a look, I do have I've got a sale, well, it's not a sale, it's a, if you spend £85 you get 25% off in the UK. If you spend I believe it's £100 in the US, you get 15% off, and the same in Canada currently. Was there anything else? Oh, there's some new yarn arrived this week. This is Cascade Heritage Solids. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on, there's more. Where are they? Oh, there we go. And I dropped one, hold on. There we go. We've got 6 of them. Let me see if I can grab them. There we go. 6. This is Cascade Heritage Solid Colours. But I want to do some stripy socks, so I thought I'll get 3 pops of colour and 3 neutral. So I'll show you the pops first. This is like a coral pink. I can't remember what the actual name is, but it's probably something like coral. But the colour is 5750. I don't know if that's showing. It's really pretty. Oh, that's blown out totally, hasn't it? That's a bit better. Got that one. And there's this, oh no, let's see if we can do a bit better here. Yeah, there's this lovely green. No, that's not helping. Oh, like that, maybe. I'm really blowing out today. I'll put, what I'll do is I'll just, instead of reading out all the numbers, I'll put them all down below with, like, I'll say green below whatever. So I've got a green one, and we've got this dark blue. This is vintage indigo, I believe, the colour. Oh gosh, let's try again. Yeah, that's a bit better. Vintage indigo. And then for the neutrals is this sort of like pond green, like it's a greeny brown. And then I got this darker grey and a silver, like grey beige. I think it's like a, I think it's meant to be like a beigey colour. But yeah, these are the three neutrals. So they'll be added to my stash, and I'll be knitting with them probably in, I'm thinking July. I'll do some stripy socks. I got inspired to do, oh gosh, look at me. That's a bit better, I think. I got inspired from my rose tea socks with the little thin stripes, 5 rounds. They were so pretty. So that's everything I've been working on and future plans, and I'll just show you. I haven't read any more of Assistant to the Villain. I bought the book, so I will read it, but it's not really inspiring me at the moment. And life's too short to force yourself to read something you don't want to read. So I've actually not been reading at all this week. I've been listening to book 2, City of Gods and Monsters by Kayla Edwards. Is that book 2? Or is this? Hold on, no. City of Gods, is it? I'm so confused now. That's book 1. That was book 1. City of, hold on, where are we? I've been listening to book 2, which is, I've been listening to book 2 of that, which is City of, let's see, sorry, that's not ideal, is it? Oh yeah, City of Souls and Sinners, that's what I've been listening to. Let me get that up. You can't see, let me zoom in. There we go. City of Souls and Sinners, which City of Gods and Monsters I really liked. It has some spice in it. It would be pretty, like, I don't know, what they do it on, like Book Talk, like in chilies out of 5, so maybe 2 out of 5. Book number 2. Gosh, Dita, calm down. She's causing chaos down there. Book number 2. So far, I'm listening to it. I'm probably only, what, like 5-6 chapters in, and it feels like it's predominantly been sex. It's been all spice with a tiny bit of story, which isn't what I was expecting, but maybe once things start happening in the story, I won't have time for all of those sorts of shenanigans, because I'm not a prude. That doesn't bother me, but I do want story as well, and so far book number 2 is falling a bit short in the story part, but I will update you next week and hopefully that has changed. So that is everything for this week. I don't think I have anything else to talk about. No, can't see anything that I need to. I think that's everything. So thank you for watching. Thank you for all your comments and likes, and all my new subscribers, all my existing subscribers, thank you. I will see you again next week. Have a really good week, stay safe, and Bye.